Hello, hello. Welcome to Thursday Facebook Live Reset, Marriage Reset. So today I want to talk about changing. And what if nobody changes? What if you decide that you like you just fine? And your partner says, you know what, I like myself the way I am. Or I wish I could be better, different, or more in this area or doing that thing, but I don't think I can. I don't think I can change. What if it's true that nobody can change? Because we set up relationships, and we've done this for decades in the US, in Western Europe, not so much in other countries, but definitely in English speaking countries. We decide that people will change. We do that when we date people. They do or say something that we don't like, or there are some habits that they have, and we say, oh, well, they'll change. No, they won't. Well, I'll talk about this when I get to know them better. Or they won't do that forever. Yes, they will. So we really can't change people. I know, I'm going to say that again. We can't change people. We can't change anybody in any way for any reason. And that's really a fact. The only person that we can change is ourselves. I can bring a change in any area of my life, to a behavior, to a belief. Values are generally, our values, once we are adults, are pretty set, but it's possible that a value can change. Attitudes shift and change. Hopes and dreams, our desires, our preferences. There are lots and lots of things about us that are changeable. But we are the only ones that can change us. Nobody else can change us. And a lot of times, even if somebody asks for a change and we agree, even if we really, really, really want to make that change for them, it doesn't have legs. It's not sustainable. Most of the time, it isn't even achievable. But if it's achievable, it's not sustainable. So the choices that we can make and the changes that we can make are for ourselves, inside ourselves only. Well, what does that mean? Does that mean I'm stuck with the stuff about you that I don't like, or that doesn't work for me, or isn't a good fit for me? No, it doesn't mean that. But here's what it does mean. We want to adopt a win-win-win mindset. I win, you win, we win. That the foundational piece of our relationship is, you matter to me. I care about you, I love you, and it matters to me what you think, what you need, what you want, what works for you, what's a good fit for you. It matters to me what you need in terms of your space, your container, to co-create our relationship. It matters to me. And if there's something that I can do or say, or not do or say, that will contribute positively to what you're trying to create for yourself and for us, I'm interested in doing that. Now, that's a mouthful, but it's really important, because we do want to contribute to co-create what matches for each other, what works for each other, what works well. Because I've got your back and you've got my back. Because no matter what, we have a shared vision, we are driving in the same direction, and that we are together no matter what, that we can weather all the storms. If that's true, then how do we ask for changes? And the way is a behavior change request. It's very formal, a behavior change request. So we sit down and we have a very formal, very structured, very kind conversation. And we start with, you've got it, I message feedback. I want to let you know that I've been experiencing this behavior that you're doing in a way that doesn't feel good for me. And I'd like us to talk about that. Are you open? Are you willing? And then you can talk about what's going on for you. For example, I'm always on time, almost always. And I have very little tolerance, some would say no tolerance, very little tolerance for people being late. if you call me, not the minute you're supposed to be there, because you know 10 or 15 minutes before you're supposed to meet me or be wherever I am, that you're going to be late. So do me the courtesy of, you can hear, right, the contempt in my voice. So do me the courtesy of a phone call or a text. "Oh, I'm going to be late, so sorry, be there as soon as I can. Be there in 15 minutes, be there in an hour and a half." Just tell me, own that you're late, that you know that we had an agreement to meet at a particular time, and that you're not going to honor your agreement. You're going to change the agreement at the last minute. Okay, so that's a little bit how I feel about being late, just a bird's eye view. That being said, there are some things that we can change. I had this great story years ago. Mark, my late husband, and I were, I don't know, remember where we were going, but I wanted to get to the airport really, really early because that's how I do it. And he's a person that runs down the aisle, waiting for the door, screaming, "Don't close the jetway, don't close the jetway." And I can't travel that way. So I thought about it and thought about it and thought about it. And I said to him, I came to him one day and I said, "Look, I know that you want to leave for the airport around 2 and that really will work for you. It doesn't work for me. I want to leave at noon. And I know you don't want to leave at noon and you don't want to have to be ready that early and you don't want us to live around at the airport that long. So I have a proposition. Why don't we just take 2 different cars?" This is before Uber. We were like literally driving our own cars to the airport. "So I'll leave at 12 and you can leave whenever you want to, and I'll meet you in the waiting area or I'll meet you on the plane," right? And he said, "What a great idea. That works fine because I don't want to leave at noon and I for sure don't want to sit around the airport." Okay, so I'm packing and I'm getting ready and it's probably 11:40 or 11:45. And he comes in stricken. His face is just, and he comes in agitated and he says, Okay. I'm going to be ready in 15 minutes. I don't want to go by myself. I don't want to drive alone. I want to go with you. And if you're going to go at 12 and I want to go with you, then I'm going to come at 12. And I said, "Okay, get a jiggle on because I'm out the door at 12 o'clock. I was so tickled that he wanted to come with me. And it was more important really for us to start off on this trip together. And that was the last time we ever talked about what time we were going to the airport because he knew it was important to me. I couldn't. I know people say, "Oh, you could if you wanted to." I really couldn't make myself get to an airport and be later than I'm comfortable getting to an airport. And he made a decision that it was more important to be together. So those are the kinds of things that I'm talking about. Many, many, many things on all kinds of levels. The little things, the insignificant things, and you and I know nothing is insignificant. So let's experiment for the next couple of days with the idea that nobody is going to change. Just set that as a foundation in your thinking and approach everything with if nobody's going to change, then what? And play with that. Be very loose, be very playful is a good word, right? We don't want to take ourselves quite so seriously. And see what you come up with. And let me know in the chat what you're discovering, what you're uncovering, what's working, what doesn't work, and we'll talk about this more. That's it for me. Stay strong, stay brave, stay safe, stay open-hearted, and have a wonderful weekend. I'll look forward to seeing you on Tuesday for our next Facebook Marriage Reset. Bye-bye.